Good morning from Costa Rica. So a little bit of a different scenery here. After being almost 3 weeks in Dos Brazos, Rio Ticura, I decided I needed a change of scenery. I was getting a little bit tired of sleeping with ants, insects almost the size of my hand, frogs and lizards, amongst other things, and not having any hot water. I mean, the jungle experience was pretty awesome and pretty freaky at times, like when I got caught in a flash hurricane. I'll talk about that in another video. But yeah, it was a very interesting experience, I must say. But, you know, it's my last couple days here in the OSA, and I thought, you know what, I need something a little bit more luxurious. So I'm here back in Puerto Jimenez, the main town, and I've got this place. And so there's my bed, double bed with, let's see if we can get up there, air conditioning, and a nice little lobby here, nice size lobby. Heck, this was about the size of the room I was in before. And look at this bathroom. Check this out. Bathroom here, just huge. But now let me just take you for a little tour outside. This is like an oasis in the city, literally. And what's amazing is I'm the only person here. There's nobody else here other than the people, the staff. And there's only, for the staff, there's like 2 people, a young woman, she must be no more than 18 years old, and a young man that's about the same age. And they're running the whole joint. So check this out. Now let me just tell you something here about booking.com and those online booking sites for getting a hotel or something. Don't be fooled when you see where it says only 1 room left, or you know, you're looking in a certain area and it looks like all these places are getting booked up quickly. It's a scam. I mean, that's what it looked like when I was booking for here. It looked like, oh, there's only a couple of rooms left, I better hurry up. The whole place is empty. So, and I've had this on more than one occasion, so I've come to realize that they make it look like people are booking quickly, and it's not necessarily the case. But anyhow, how do you know that, right? Are you willing to take a chance? Anyways, let's take a little tour here. I'll just turn up the lights. Get outside. You gotta check this out. So yeah, my whole experience here in the OSA has been really strange, I have to say. Like, I guess, you know, not that I didn't expect things to be different. Of course I did, but it just the way things work here. Like, for example, if you're like me, monolingual idiot, then you're gonna have a really difficult time getting around. Like, it's nobody here. Like, just to book in yesterday took over an hour because the people working here didn't know 1 iota of English. I know no Spanish, but the young woman here, she had enough technical sense to hook up to Google Translate, and that's how we managed to get my room, was through that, to do the whole process. Other than that, I'd be still waiting in the lobby there to get my room. What else? Yeah, I mean, it's just like that all over. The locals here, they don't really know any English, and you'll go to a restaurant, they'll even have some English in their menu, and you think, oh great, you know, they're going to be able to communicate to me on some level in English, and they don't know anything. Like, so you, at the very least, have Google Translate with you, and have one of those little booklets on, you know, converting English to Latin Spanish. So that's one of the things, the language gap. It's huge here. And the weather patterns this time of year are just completely unpredictable. Typically it rains later in the afternoon, but there's no guarantee of that either. Yeah, and you can get some pretty freaky storms here too. And then the wildlife as well. Like yesterday I was out swimming, and the area in which I was swimming in seemed fine. You know, it's in the Gulf here. But a guy came up to me and started yelling at me in Spanish while I was in the water. And it turned out the area that I was swimming in was an area where there tended to be schools of piranha. So, yeah, I mean, it's crazy stuff. I've had some pretty crazy experiences here. But anyhow, look at this place. Isn't this beautiful? This is like, now it's about 6 o'clock in the morning now. If I was out here an hour earlier, it would have been a lot louder with all the birds and everything. It's quite quiet right now. You can hear them off in the distance, but yeah, I'm actually in town, but here I'm in this oasis. It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. That right there, let's see, I'll turn my camera around. Right above me, that big tree there is a mango tree. And that's another thing too, you know. When you come here, you get the impression there's an abundance of fruit, and there is. But if you think that you're just going to be walking around picking it freely, it's not the case, because most of the land is private, except for when you go into the conservation park, the Corcovado rainforest. I did get some wild mango, and though interestingly, they were not the pretty mangoes that you buy at the store. They were almost like black on the outside. Now, it could be just the time of year where things tend to get moldy and stuff because of the rain and everything, but they tasted really good inside. But when I looked at them from the outside, if it wasn't for the guy that I was with, who was a local, telling me it was okay to eat, I wouldn't have ate it because it just did not look edible at all, but it was quite tasty. Bananas as well. I did get some wild bananas that fell to the ground, and again, they weren't yellow, they were almost like black on the outside, and I can only think of that it's just the time of year, because when I was back here in March on the other side of the Osa, there were beautiful yellow bananas. So it's got to be the fact that it's so damp in the air. But yeah, so you still have to go to the market and buy fruit. And even then, like, you know, when I first came here, I go, oh, look at all this wonderful ripe fruit. But there was days when I came there and the bananas were green, the pineapples were green, the mangoes didn't look so great. So, you know, you get kind of the same problems that you would get like back home when you're shopping for fruit. Some days are better than others. But when they are ripe here, they're friggin' amazing. But what's also interesting, when you go up into the jungle, like it's more mountainous terrain where I was, out Dos Brazos, and when you go up into the hills, away from the lower ground, there's not like this abundance of available fruit to just choose from. So like, if you're thinking like, okay, living in the jungle and just grabbing fruit, there's just this, you know, paradise of a variety of fruit just waiting for you to eat. It's not like that. There is fruit, but it's way high up in the trees, and you'd have to be one damn good climber to get to them. So you wouldn't do very well if you were planning on just living on the fruit of the land in the jungle high up in the hills. You know, this is a lot of stuff I've been learning, and it's quite fascinating, all of this. But what an experience! You know, this is not your typical holiday where you go to a fancy resort and you you know, get served hand and foot. This was a trip for sure. Anyhow, that's all I got to say about this. I'll be back home in about 3 days. No, let's see, 2 days. Tuesday. I'll be back Tuesday evening. So I'll be back posting videos in Toronto by probably Wednesday, and I'll see you then. I'm now going to go out for a nice long run. Take care.